And this closing ceremony consists of 2 closing remarks. And now we'd like to welcome His Excellency Mr. Lee Dong-yeol, Ambassador for International Cyber Affairs for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Korea. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome him with a big round of applause.
Distinguished guests, I'd like to start by thanking all the speakers for their insightful and rich discussions today, and moderators for facilitating the discussion of each session in a wonderfully coordinated manner. My special thanks go to CIPRI and KAIST, our 2 esteemed partners, for their intellectual and professional expertise in preparing for this forum. When this forum was first launched in 2021, the discussions on the themes we covered today were very at the early stage in the international community. For one, we would not have launched the AI Summit or the AIM Summit, nor would we have expected to adopt outcome documents such as the future governance of AI. These developments are both natural and necessary when we consider the evolving nature of the security landscape. We must continue to be vigilant and agile to meet new challenges. And we are all aware that new technologies impact multiple areas, from science, economy, and military to intangible areas such as our ways of thinking and common values, which are reshaping the dynamics of security. In this journey, cooperation among multiple stakeholders is key to understanding the challenges we encounter and harnessing wisdom to tackle them. Government, international organizations, academia, businesses, and civil society each has its own role to play in finding the missing pieces to the puzzle. With this in mind, today we delved into a broad range of issues, from technology to its implication on international security and geopolitics. And we further expanded our discussions to include the intersection of cybersecurity, AI, weapons of mass destruction, quantum space, minerals, and more. The sessions served as a valuable opportunity to explore the potential benefits and risks we are facing with the evolving dynamics and how we must advance global cooperation to respond. Korea is committed to continuing its contributions to promoting these discourses. Indeed, as part of the dedication, Korea will continue to host this forum and develop it into a unique multi-stakeholder platform where participants can share candid ideas and forge a relationship that would make a meaningful contribution to responding to emerging security threats that affect our future. Allow me to conclude by quoting our winner from the competition on naming a catchphrase for the forum. Borderless threat call for borderless cooperation. I believe this will capture what we are pursuing. Let us keep thinking and continue our dialogue. I look forward to welcoming you again at this forum in Seoul next year. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for those thoughtful words. As he just mentioned, we had the fruitful conversations, and we believe that this WESF was a meaningful platform, laying a solid foundation for potential global action on these emerging threats. Thank you. And next, we'd like to welcome Mr. Dan Smith, Director of the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, to deliver his closing remarks. Please welcome him with a warm round of applause.
Thank you very much, and I would of course like to join in thanking speakers, moderators, participants, and the Korean Ministry of Foreign Affairs for putting on such a great forum. I'm kind of feeling regretful now that I didn't start out by switching on the record function on my phone, recording everything that was said, getting an AI program to give me a transcript, feed it into ChatGPT, and read it out to give you back as a summary of what we've been talking about. Of course, I'm not going to summarize. The conversation has been far too rich for that. There's an awful lot to take away. Just a few of my takeaways. We're obviously facing a number of dilemmas. One of them is between the long term and the short term, which both Ambassador Ri and I commented on in our openings this morning. And the second, which has come out very strongly, perhaps most dramatically or vividly in the conversation in this session 3 that we've just had, is between the dilemma between the need for cooperation to address a number of complex issues and the realities of geopolitical competition. The problem that we face is a rising need for cooperation, is meeting a declining appetite for cooperation on a large enough and diverse enough scale. We obviously also need to undertake quite a lot of homework to keep on improving our understanding of interconnections, the assessment of risk, and perhaps especially the recognition of opportunities. We've been through a number of issues and challenges, which I won't go into now because of time pressures, where the key is cooperation and action both now and for the long term. But simply by talking about cooperation, that doesn't change the realities that we face. So for a just and peaceful green transition, we need to take on the issues that have been talked about in AI, in cybersecurity, and critical or strategic minerals. And for that, we need an approach that incentivizes cooperation, but that raises at least a few questions. Who is it who is most advanced in transitional technologies and extraction and exploitation of the necessary natural resources? Who are the we that we're talking about? Is this a humanity we, or a West we, or a subset of we within the West? Is it Europe? Is it individual countries? Is it the interests of Northeast Asia, and so on? And that raises a point which came up very strongly in the first panel this morning, which is the need to decolonize the approach. And that can be thought of in ethical terms and in terms of historical justice, but it's also pragmatic. I mean, the world order is changing, and we need to be addressing these questions not only within that changing world order, but in a way which reflects and responds to its realities. I think that the point that, simply outlawing something doesn't solve the problem is important. And yet at the same time, it is clear that there's a number of areas here where we need regulation. And we need to think through a lot of the challenges of regulation are new, both because of geopolitics and because of technology. That said, I think it's also important to remember that we have a starting point in international law, including international humanitarian law, international human rights law, and treaty commitments which have been made and ought to be stood by. And for all its flaws, and despite everything, and it's really worth reading the charter of the organization once again, we also have a starting point in the United Nations. We need innovation, we need the new, but we won't get it by simply junking or sidelining what we already have. Thank you all for a really good forum, and I look forward to its continuation in coming years as well. Thanks.